Just a little bit of housekeeping, everyone. I have this really cool new setup. Josh came to my house and set it up. We couldn't get it to work, so I'm using my old setup here. So I apologize. The chat in the upper right-hand corner. If you don't use Zoom a lot, if you have a question, please put it in the chat. We'll see if we can get to them at the end. Housekeeping. This call from this point forward is going to be moving to Mondays. As I start to travel again, I'm booked out through like October right now, and Tuesday is a big travel day for me. So this call will be Mondays, 2 p.m. Eastern going forward. I tried to make it late enough so all you West Coast people could get your pipe meetings done and all the crap you do on Monday mornings and still be on the call. So it's 11 a.m. Pacific. The invite will automatically update in your calendar if you saved it there or if you've registered. Let me think what other housekeeping I have. I think that is it for right now. We'll talk a little bit more about the agent crush later. As you know, I've listened to your feedback. We had a whole bunch of Housing Wire people on here over the past year. We started this right at the beginning of COVID, and then we went over to talking to different loan officers, and that's been exciting. The other thing you asked is to try to really keep it to 30 minutes. So we will try to end this by 1:30 East Coast time for sure, because our guest today is extremely busy, and I've seen how organized he is in action. So I'm sure he has this blocked perfectly out, and there's some pumpkin is going to show up and blow up at 1:30 anyway, and he's going to be on to something else. So this week we have none other than Shant Banosian. Most of you all know who that is. He's always all over the news as America's #1 loan officer. Shant, we won't even talk about the Scotsman's Guide from last year because I was just cracking up trying to figure out what was going on, where all those people from Better Mortgage came from. But then if you look it up, they were like 98% refi. So I'm sure they won't be there next year. Shant is in Boston Metro. He's a great guy. He's a super humble guy. It never ceases to amaze me when I hear people talking shit about him because they always do when someone's consistently kicking your ass. And I always say, you don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. Why don't you just put your head down and do loans and shut up and don't worry about anyone else. Shant's been in the business how long? Is it 15, 16? How many years?
Yes, got in the business officially in 2003. So going on 18 years now. It's the only thing I've really ever done, right? First job out of college.
First real job out of college. Shant is an athlete, played D2 football at Bentley. So that's a little known fact. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know. I'm watching the kid shots and I'm thinking, based on the DNA between you and your wife, you probably have some little athletes coming up as well. So I've been asking everyone on the call, Shant is with Guaranteed Rate. I didn't even say that, but I think most of you all know that. I've been starting with, just because it's so topical, I like to ask every loan officer, hey, the inventory thing is a thing. We thought maybe after the Easter Bunny popped up, we would get a lot of things on the market. From the agents that I talk to all the time, they were pretty optimistic that more things were going to come on the market sort of right after Easter. Things are kind of coming on a little bit, but we are still in a very low inventory epic. I've never seen anything like this. Probably, I'm sure Shant hasn't either. Loan officers, everyone thinks loan officers are just stacking cash. Meanwhile, you're writing the same pre-qual letter for the same person 400 times for them to get a house. I'm sure the weekends are super busy. Shant, I just wanted to ask you, how are you, your team, number one, what things are you doing internally to help your agent partners to sift your way through this when you have scenarios where maybe 15 offers on a property, maybe the borrower you've pre-qualified, you're having to write 8 different letters for. And then second, Shant, what are you doing with your agent partners to sort of console them and keep their head in the game? Because a lot of them are just, unless they have listings, they're just staring at the ground in disbelief as people offer 60 over, no home inspection contingency. Maybe they even try to remove mortgage, and everything's got an escalator on it. They literally tell the agent, keep going.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I mean, first, thank you for having me be here. I can't believe I'm actually, you know, I always get humbled when I get on these things that there's a bunch of people that are interested in hearing what I have to say. You know, I remember kind of just getting started like it was 10 minutes ago. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. And for all you guys that talk shit, I really appreciate that too. For all you guys that support me, I appreciate that even more because it's been more positive than negative, but I like the fuel. But all good. I mean, we have an awesome community and we're very fortunate to be in this amazing business. But here's what I'd say. So, you know, it's extreme right now, right? Extreme times take extreme measures. So we've been focused on, you know, how can we do a better job for our clients? So one of the things you said, hey, you know, sending out multiple pre-approvals, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't make that. I just make sure I'm available to my agents 24/7 because it's crazy, right? You got to put yourself, I think it's really, really important to put yourself in the agent's shoes, right? They don't get paid on offers, just like we don't get paid on sending out pre-approvals. They get paid on putting deals together. And so it's really important to put yourself and be empathetic to what the agents are going through, what the clients are going through, and then put yourself in a position where you can be the solution to kind of helping them, right? So understand that they're fatigued, the clients are fatigued, they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, and ultimately they're trying to make a living, right? We were lucky last year, not lucky, but I mean, we worked really hard last year. 2020 was epic, right? We crushed it on purchases, but we also crushed it on refinances, right? So like whether the purchase market was going or not, we were still making money because we were doing refinances and we were staffing and we were growing. That obviously doesn't impact them. So, you know, they have to get offers accepted and they have to build a business. So everything that we do and everything we're doing right now is focused around how can we be a great resource and great support system for our agents. I'm focused on literally 3 things right now that me and my staff are working on. 3 things that I'm focused on is how can I close a loan and how can I manufacture a loan faster than anyone on the planet, right? I want to close every single loan in 10 days from application, right? And all our processes and our systems are focused around speed because my clients are competing with people that are waiving contingencies or cash, right? So speed is one thing, service level and execution. So, you know, we do net promoter score here. Net promoter score is everything that we do. We want the feedback from the clients. How can we deliver a better experience? They're raving about us and telling everybody they know about us. And then how can we create certainty for our agents? And, you know, how can we, you know, you talk about all the time, Joel, is like creating the perfect file, taking the perfect loan application. I want my brand to be certainty that when a listing agent sees my pre-approval letter and we're going out to our buyers agents and our buyers saying, we'll pre-underwrite your files up front. You can make an offer contingent upon an appraisal and, you know, a title as an example. So those are the 3 things we're working on is creating certainty by doing pre-underwriting and taking the absolute best applications with documentation, with everything up front, and not being afraid. You know, I have loan officers tell me all the time, you know, I don't advise my clients whether they should waive their mortgage contingency or their appraisal contingency or whatever. I do all the time. Why? Because I'm confident as hell that the advice I'm giving them is spot on every single time, right? Like I'm confident in knowing my guidelines, my products, my market, what's going on, that if I think they should waive their contingency and that's going to help them have an offer accepted, I'm going to tell them. I'm not fearful of giving them the wrong answer. I'm also setting proper expectations. But, you know, I think it's just really important to know that the market's moving faster than ever. So you have to be there for them. Does that mean that you have to, you know, I was issuing, if I had to send an updated pre-approval, I sent a bunch of them out at 5 o'clock this morning. We probably sent out 50 pre-approvals over the course of the weekend. You know, offers are going
Hey,
to
Shant,
Yeah.
hold that thought for a second, because just hold on, because I know you're going to keep rolling, and I want to make sure people are hearing what you're saying. I just want to make sure everyone heard Shant Banosian say, be available 24/7. I also want to make sure you just heard him say, knocked out, I don't know how many pre-qual letters. I don't care if it's 1. If it was 1 or 10 at 5 a.m. I know he's doing that because he's texted me at 5 a.m. before. So I know he's doing that. But listen, for all of you people that think if you want to make this kind of money and have this kind of life, you have to work. This is not a joke. Okay. And you just heard Shant say, be available. He is available. Okay. So you're not available. What? What do you mean you're turning your phone off? You need downtime. Give me a break. You don't need downtime right now. There's no downtime right now. You should be murdering it. And this is such a great message. And by the way, Shant and I, there's no setup for this. I didn't ask him to say anything, but what a great message. And by the way, you heard this from the last 3 or 4 loan officers I had on here, who are all great loan officers. They're not at Shant's level, but they're all 40 plus purchase loan officers a month. They all said the same thing. Okay. Be available. Sorry, Sean, keep going. I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
I
we
mean, look,
drilled
with
that.
that thing, I mean, look, I could start every single one of these calls with like, there's no shortcut for like, there's no hack. I mean, it's hard work. It's like service, it's communication, it's availability. But that availability is key, guys. Like think about, we always like, I always hear loan officers say, I don't like being available 24/7. I don't like this. I don't like that. Well, think about what you need from your vendors, your title companies, your insurance companies, your appraisal companies. How many do you work with that take hours to get back to you or call you back the next day? I don't work with any. It's not acceptable for me because I need to get what I need. I need my service level to my clients and to me, and that trust and that partnership to be spot on. I want 5-star service from me and everybody I recommend. And the top level, the top players, are going to want the same thing. Newsflash is, there's a ton of offers being accepted. There's a lot of business being done right now, right? My purchase volume is way ahead of last year. So is my refinance volume. But it's because I find people that are like, there's going to be agents out there and mortgage people that don't care about the environment. They just find a way to do business, that are doing tons of buyer business, right? There's a lot of, so I'm partnering up with those people that are like savages that just want to make it happen. But I have to deliver that kind of service level to these people because like, they're not going to be rainmakers, make it happen and surround themselves with people that can't meet the expectations of the service level and communication and execution and delivery to their clients or to themselves. So, it just depends on what level and what game you want to play in. I want to play, I want to play at the highest level.
And Shant, you're making a good point. There are agents out there that are grinding and trying to get stuff done, and they're working with really shitty loan officers that don't know what they're doing. And when you run into these agents and you show up and perform, you not only do more loans, you change their whole business and make a best friend forever. These are the people that they go up to get their award. And everyone looks and they're like, where did you come from? They go up to the number 3 slot. They'll turn around and tell someone, yeah, I started working with this guy, Shant, and it's unbelievable because I thought I had 10 leads a month. I was being told, I could get one, maybe half of one, and now I'm closing 3 because this guy is murdering my stuff.
My focus on everything I do, right, is it's all about how can we add value? I'm on a webinar. How can we add value? Sorry. How can we add value to our agents, right? Like everything we do is how can we add value to our agents in terms of how can we help them do better in their business professionally? How can we help them personally? How can we help them get involved in their communities, right? Like that's always is everything that we focus, me and my team is like, how can we help them? So I'm not leading with products and rate sheets and all that kind of stuff. It's like, how can I help you with your clients? How can I help you grow your business? How can we provide you information? How can we be available to you? It's literally full service we're obsessed with just being a great partner to them. And it's not, the best agents literally could care less about your rates or your products. I've never had one agent that I've built a relationship with that sends me business because of the products I have or the rates I have or anything like that. It's all about execution, service level, the relationship. That's what it's all about, right?
Well, you said the key word too, Shant, that most loan officers go through their whole career never doing. You said the P word, that's partnering. Yeah. I meet agents all the time that go through my other agent training, Agent Crush training, and they've gone their whole careers and never partnered with a loan officer before. They don't even understand what it means to have a loan officer take care of their person to the point where they get like 10 referrals from the person because they're so happy. They have never, I tell loan officers all the time, and agents I love when a loan officer says to me, Shant, they say, oh my God, I hate realtors. I'm like, okay, you're doing it wrong. You're clearly doing it wrong. Or they get in a transaction with a new agent and the agent is beating them down, right? And I say to them, listen, pretend that agent was in the pound, it was in the dog pound. You went and picked up that agent, but you went and picked up that dog and you brought the dog home and you went to pet it and it went to the ground. That's because someone's been hitting it. Most agents have been hit by loan officers their whole career, and that's why they freak out. They call you every single day. So when you perform, they stop that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, my whole, I truly love the agents I work with, right? Like, and I don't work with the ones that I don't like. And that's not because I do a lot of business. Like that's always been the case. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, there's no partnership if you don't like one another, right? Like it's like a bad marriage, right? It goes down in flames. So like, ultimately, like, the reason I'm able to work so hard for these people is because they respect them like me and I respect them like them. And I want to see them succeed. And they actually care about my success. So it starts with the relationship and the value on both sides. I don't work with people that treat me like shit. I don't, and that's why I take their calls. That's why I'm happy to help them. And I also don't work with people that don't see the value that I offer. And again, some of you guys might be sitting there thinking, oh, well, it's easy for you to say you do a lot of business. I'm just getting started out. There's a ton of really great agents out there, whether they're just starting out or that do a ton of business, that don't work with really great loan originators, right? And you just have to talk to them, and you also have to add value, right? Like you have to figure out what your value is. You have to figure out what's special to you. But I know for a fact we had a lot of value over the course of time. And like, I know that I'm like a library and a resource for them in terms of just like information, whether it's mortgage related and product related, whether it's execution and getting deals, the relationships that I have and helping them make deals, whether it's helping them with marketing and social media and building a business, whether it's, all the different, how to get involved in community giving and like we can help them with anything. Like, then all of a sudden you become their personal resource and you're helping them out with their life, right? Like, and granted, I'm not like a life coach or anything. And certainly I'm just trying to be a great loan officer, but like ultimately it's about just forging, the loan officers that do the most amount of business, especially on the purchase side. I'm not talking about like refi driven people, right? That's an okay source of business too, are the ones that have the best referral partners, whether it be realtors, financial advisors, attorneys, accountants, whatever it is. Like there's a partnership there. So I think it all leads with adding value. I think availability is super important. If that, and that's just, and like, I think it's funny. I say this on calls internally within the company all the time. I guarantee you, if you took Scotsman's Guide and called the top 20 loan originators in the country, you'd get them on the phone or they'd call you back almost immediately. Like, if you don't believe me, try me. If you take the bottom 20 loan originators of your company, you'll call them and they will not respond to your emails or your calls.
Shant, my first boss, you'll get a kick out of this. This is when they had in the paper, in the real estate section, you had like all the rates on a certain day. Okay. And to motivate me, he had me call each loan officer and see who I could get on the phone. And I got 3 out of 30 on the phone. Yeah. That's what he did to motivate me. And then he went, that's your competition. Now go out there and beat them down because they suck. You can't even get them on the phone. It was phenomenal. And it's just this be available thing. It's so simple, yet people can't grasp it. Shant, I see loan officers all the time. They spend all this time trying to develop a relationship. Then they go to a movie on Saturday afternoon and they're so busy eating their buttered popcorn for 2 hours, they turn their phone off. They walk out, they turn their phone back on. The person they've been working on for 4 months called them. And within 10 minutes, they already called you because, they're like, I'm just going to call Shant. I mean, I'm not giving this guy a chance. Why bother? You picked up immediately or someone else picked up immediately and it's done. People don't understand the power of that. Then they go the other way. They're like, oh, that's BS. I don't want to be a slave. And I literally looked them in the eye and go, oh, okay. So you don't want, so what you're saying, so why don't you just go like work at IBM and make $100 grand a year then? I mean, this is what you signed up for.
So I think, one of the keys to, and everybody's at a different stage and I have no idea who's watching on this call and who's listening and what stages you're at. But I would say this, one of the biggest things you can do in any business, whether you're a loan officer or selling anything, right? Or any type of business is invest in yourself. If you don't want to, if you really are truly interested in growing your business and taking it to the next level, then there's nothing you can do that is going to be better return on investment than investing in yourself and your business. So what I mean by that is obviously personal and professional development, taking care of your health, but also like bringing on a really great team member or team. Like, everybody, the most, the backhanded compliment I get all the time is, I would do that much business if I had that team. Well, the news flash is that my team didn't fall from the sky. Now, is the secret to my success my team? Absolutely. My team's amazing, right? And like they do an amazing job, and I could never do what I do without my team. And but like, 10 years ago, I was truly like a team of one, right? And then, I invested and kept investing, and I spent a lot of time training and coaching and creating systems and processes. And then it becomes more scalable. But bottom line is, if you don't want to be available 24/7 and you're doing a decent amount of business, hire an LOA or whatever you call it. Everybody calls it something different, but like just hire somebody that like can pick up your phone, have the right technology so you can deliver the type of service. Like in this business, guess what? Most of the deals happen, like not the deals, but like you have to be available on Saturdays and Sundays. Realtors truly don't care if it's me picking up the phone on Saturdays and Sundays, as long as they're getting the answers and their clients are getting the answers that they need, right? I have a system in which, like this weekend we issued, a gazillion pre-approvals, and we sent out a bunch of numbers. We send out all this stuff. Every single person got those emails from me. Did I send out 500 emails this weekend? No, but I had somebody knocking away at all my emails and delivering the same type of service, knowledge, and all that kind of stuff that I would, because of all the systems and trainings and processes that we have, right? But I had
Let me,
yeah.
Sean, I just want to give everyone some perspective, because a lot of these people have been through my training. Just to give you all perspective, when you start in Crush Group and I have you make lists and no one has anybody in platoon, maybe you have one. So Sean's got like 14 people in his platoon, maybe 15. That's what equals the kind of volume that he's doing. And that's an epic number. That's a relationship where somebody would take a bullet. They would stand in front of a train. They tell that agent, you're already pre-approved. They're going to say, I don't care. You're going to shine anyway. Like where this conversation's over. Then there's another probably 50 in his company, maybe 40 in his company, okay, that create this type of volume. But I want to make sure you all are listening. He likes every single one of those people.
Love him.
There's not one person he does not like.
I'm so grateful.
John,
I'm so grateful for these people, because ultimately they're the lifeblood of our business. And you know what the best part is like like I said, it's really important that the people I partner with, I trust, I respect, and they do the same with us. And we do it. We built a business because you know what? They also have great clients, and their clients are going to be the same with you. And you attract the right kind of business that you're willing to work hard for. I have no problem working super hard. I'm appreciative of this opportunity. I also have a wife and 3 kids, and I want to be available to them and be a great dad and a husband and a friend and all that stuff. But like, you have to set up a system in order to be able to, do all those things.
Sean, 2021 through the end of the year, 2022, love to hear your thoughts. Are we stay on the roll with purchase? Me personally, I thought we'd see refis start to wane June, July. We'd have them closed out by September, October. The last quarter would be a true purchase market. I've been telling people for months on end, turn around, look at your chair. If it looks like an imprint of your ass, you got a problem. Even in COVID, you need to get out, because there's a lot of people on this call right now. Shant's one of them, by the way, and he's a big dude and has big feet. That's literally going to stomp you into the ground. And most of the people that I know that are on this call are going to stomp other loan officers literally to the ground. Because when these refi people come out of their little hidey holes, they're going to have to get around large bodies like Shant's body to even get back to that agent. What do you think about what it looks like through the end of the year and maybe into 2022? I'm sure everyone would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's just super important. I'm with you. We're already starting to see, like, we closed out a lot of our refinance pipeline. Obviously, there's still a lot of refinance activity happening out there. Rates are still amazing. I think it's really important to kind of continue to appreciate like how good rates are, so that there's still a lot of people that you already probably did loans at the end of 2019 and 2020 that you can still do all over again. If you're big into no-nos, a lot of cash out refinance is still happening. There's a ton of equity. So I wouldn't completely give up on the refinances, because it's really important to service your current client base, to make sure that you're there for them and letting them know what's going on. And I'm blown away by how many of those people that refinanced last year are already moving this year. So you get 2 loans in 2 years, or sometimes 3 loans in 2 years, 2 refinances and a purchase out of it. But it's definitely, it's going to be a purchase market. I think rates will be up, in my opinion, based on everything I'm reading and seeing and studying, is that rates are going to be up at a half point by the end of the year. So I think we'll be in like the mid 3s to high 3s. I think inflation's really happening, and I think it's going to impact interest rates. And I think the economy's recovered much, much faster than what, even the Fed anticipated and everybody anticipated. I mean, it's kind of amazing. I think inventory, I'm of the belief that inventory is not coming back anytime soon. I think we're going to be in a really low inventory environment for years. So I think this is what, you have to build your business around: fast moving, high stress, but super high efficiency and service level and execution type business. And you can't get in the way of that. You can't push back when your clients, realtors call me all the time and say to me, well, how fast can you close this? I never answer the question. I always respond with, when do you need it to close, right? Like, You tell me, do you need 8 days, 10 days, 12 days? I'm not going to say 30. 30 is like, I could have done 30 5 years ago, so like, I want them to test us, and I want, the faster it closes, the less competition I have. Right. So, bottom line is it's going to be a purchase market. I do think technology is important in the sense that it can shave days off the process. So you have to have certain things that are just going to allow you to move faster. And you got to look at whether it's a pre-approval or an appraisal or loan approval or a commitment or a closing date or clear to close. Where can you eliminate time, whether it's hours or days from your process, and shrink it down? Because clients and realtors eat that stuff up. It makes them more competitive. It makes them more dangerous, and allows them to do more business.
And everyone, you can bet Shant's team is not chasing around large deposits 3 days before settlement. So he's glossing this over right now because we don't have a ton of time. But everyone are strong believers in, the full doc up front. Call it the Joel, the BIC PP. That's what I call it. But he's got, mountains of BICs in there, and don't think he's got 9,000 people. I just want to set the record straight. And this is why he can close a loan in 10 days. Incorrect. He's probably trying to hire more people right now. To be honest, that's not what it looks like. It's very efficient, and they don't push these things forward unless they're ready to be pushed forward, because they don't want them to come back. There's no massive ping pong going on like there is in most loan officers' businesses, because guess what? You can't close loans in 10 days unless you have an army or you're doing it right up front. So I just don't want to gloss that over. You guys have heard me screaming about this. A lot of y'all think I'm insane when I go through underwriting conditions and there's stuff on there and I'm like, none of this should be there. I just wanted to make sure go ahead.
As your business grows, and this has been something that's been very important to me from day one, I stand for quality and execution, and I've never let the quality of our loan files and our service level and everything we stand for come down because of the volume that we do. My volume is not my referral partners or my clients' problem. Like, they don't care that I do a lot of volume. They care about that one loan, and they care about the service to them and the clients and the responsiveness and the availability and all that kind of stuff. I care about my volume, right? Like, that's important to me. I'm trying to build a business, but like, I never make that anybody else's problem. I never use it as like, it's not important to me to communicate it to somebody that I do a lot of volume. They just want that one file to go flawlessly. So it's really, really important that you stay the quality of your touch points and all that kind of stuff throughout the course of the process. It stays just as great, if not better. I think in a lot of ways, we're way better today than we were 5 or 6 years ago, because we got experience, but we're also focused on improving every single day. So there's a lot of stuff. I could do this for 2 hours. I mean, we really work hard on our business. Like I said, I have an amazing team. So we're working on not just adding value, but running this like a business. I don't treat myself like a salesperson. I appreciate being a loan officer, but I run this like a real business, and there's multifaceted part of my business that we're constantly working on to continue to grow.
So a couple of just real quick, I just want to recap. I'm looking at the time. So before Shant turns into a pumpkin.
I'm good. I got time if you want.
Okay. Empathize with the agents, be in their shoes, understand what they're dealing with, so they know, because it is brutal being an agent right now. Be available 24/7. They're available. They're doing stuff. You're their partners. Be available. 3 things working on all the time: close faster, service levels, perfect files. That's what I took away from the quick 3. Sean, if I wrote that down wrong, you can correct me on that.
Right.
You heard a lot of ground and pound. The reason I wanted Shant on here is I think that he and I are kindred spirits on a bunch of stuff, and there is no fast train to success. There's not a bunch of bells and whistles. Well, Joel, where's the button I can push to immediately do 100 million? No, there is no button you're going to push. This is a ground and pound. It's a grind, but it's also executing and doing it right, doing it flawlessly and constantly. The other thing, I think Shant said this, but always working on your business all the time. He's obviously in his business. He was in it at 5 a.m., but work on it.
I've made every excuse in the book. Look, when I first came in, I literally was like, I couldn't believe when people were doing 100 million or 200 million or 300 million. I'd always be like, there's got to be some catch to it. There's not. If you talk, there really isn't. Like, I made every excuse in the book, from pricing to leads to this, to that, or whatever. Like, and the people that do a lot of business, I know most of the top producers in the entire industry at other companies at guaranteed rate everywhere, and they earn it. You know, one of the big things we're focused on right now, you know, one of the really things that I'm proud of, guys, also is that, like, you know, so we were killing it. You know, I'm from Massachusetts, like Joel was saying. I'm doing business in Boston, the Northeast. I'm licensed now in all 50 states, and I'm doing business in all 50 states. I'm actually getting a ton of really great referrals from loan officers all over the country that aren't licensed in certain states. So, you know, I'm obviously anybody out there that's always willing to help. The one thing I've learned is a mortgage is a mortgage is a mortgage. And we're building partners in other states that don't know us, that we don't sit with just because of execution, availability, and service level. And that I've never sat down with, but I can have a Zoom call like this. So I think it's just really
COVID came right to you with that one, didn't it?
Dude,
I mean, perfect,
and it's
right?
Yeah, and it doesn't, you know, and like we've just built up our systems, but a mortgage is a mortgage, and what the realtors and the clients want. One of the things that loan officers always pride themselves on is the two things that I've learned over the last couple of years. One is you always say, oh, well, the client needs me to do everything. The client doesn't need you to do everything. They want to know that you're involved in part of the process. They just want to have a really great experience and get all the answers they need and get set proper expectations and ultimately have a flawless experience. Whether they're talking to you or somebody on your team, as long as they're getting what they need, they're 100% okay. So you don't, the badge of honor of I'm a control freak and I have to do everything will hold you back from actually doing more business. The other thing that I've learned now, especially now that we're licensed in all 50 states and doing business everywhere, both refis and purchases, is that like that whole like, well, in my market, you know, like, you know, look, if Quicken Loans can do business in all 50 states, and not, I have a lot of respect for my competitors, like they're doing great, right? But one of my biggest takeaways from watching their growth in terms of doing purchases, I know there's not a loan officer there that knows what I know from experience level and execution on a purchase. So I got motivated to get licensed in all 50 states because I know if there's people, really smart people, want to work with them on their purchases in Texas, California, Kentucky, Alaska, all these places I'm doing business in now, then I can do a better job and I can meet referrals. And there's realtors that are not controlling the process, that are letting their clients go wherever they want. And, you know, so I want in on that business. And, you know, it's in technology, and COVID has allowed me to grow. I mean, I'm going to do more business in new states this year than I did 10 years ago in my home state, you know, like probably triple. So I'm fired up about that. And, you know, if there's any loan officers on here that have thrown me some deals, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your trust.
Wyoming. Shant wants all your Wyoming and North Dakota
anything
deals.
you
get
throw it,
all
I'm
of those
doing it
deals
right
to Shant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of leads right into what I always end with. Three B2Bs and you're kind of doing it. 4 and you're doing it. 5 is a grand slam. If your ass is not out right now in front of your partners, if you are not deepening existing relationships or developing new ones, Shant or someone like him is going to take everything you have. So I hope you made a lot of money on those refis, and I hope you saved it, because it's going to be routed back to Shant or a loan officer like Shant. There's nobody like Shant as far as I'm concerned, but there's plenty of people in the US that will kick your ass, that are out there right now in front of partners. Some of them are your partners or your old partners or people that you thought were your partners, but you've been inside for so long doing refis, you forgot. And we're back out now. You got to be out. Your business is ready. Shant said it 5 times. Find people who know people who need mortgages. Become best friends with those people and get them to refer those people to you. You should have a set of new best friends or best friends that are real estate agents, which Shant obviously does, which means you like them and they like you. Shant, I think everyone was too scared to ask you a question. There might be something about North Dakota, but John Hess did put something funny in there that said, Shant Banosian coming to a town near you, 2021.
I love it. Wherever you guys want.
What's the best way, if anyone wanted to, I know you're super busy, but attempt to communicate to you? Is it Facebook? What's the best way for people to?
I'm actually really, I mean, so my email is shant@rate.com. So I would say start with sending me an email there. You know, I have somebody kind of helping me with my emails. So, you know, stupid questions will be thrown out, but like, really, I love to help people. I love to pay it forward. So you actually be very surprised with like how responsive and all that kind of stuff we are. I respect, you know, what all you guys do. And I remember being there, and I'm still there every single day. I'm doing all the same things you guys are doing. It's just like every single day. That's for real. So shant@rate.com, or I'm always on my LinkedIn Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, all that stuff. So whatever, reach out to me, however you guys want. I'm always interested in meeting new people. And it's, the loan officer community is a pretty special one. Some interesting characters for sure.
I want to, I tell people all the time, Sean, I'm like, there's no other business where you can make this amount of money with basically no degree or whatever kind of degree. It's just not out there. Maybe selling real estate, but there's nothing else. Sean, I want to officially just really genuinely thank you for coming on. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You were dropping some bombs there. You're talking so fast you don't even realize it. But Sean, this goes up on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's
half
on
hours
Facebook Live.
quick, man. Half hours quick.
Hey, I mean, it's going to be up and people are going to be able to see it. They're watching it on Facebook Live right now, but they'll be able to see it. And there were some great bombs you dropped there that if I were you all and you didn't take notes, there are 4 or 5 things I'd be looking at, writing down and looking at every day because they're just important building blocks. Shant, this is easy with Shant because he played football, but it's blocking and tackling, and he's very good at blocking and tackling. So I don't think there's anything in the chat. Again, housekeeping, Mondays at 2 from now on. Shant, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have you back on again in the fall. That would be awesome. We get in your schedule. Have an incredible summer. Enjoy the Cape. I hope you'll be out there with all the ladies with the Shant.
100%. Can't wait.
And thank you everybody. All right, see you all later.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
Shant.
Appreciate
Thank you. Bye-bye.